Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Monday, October 30th. Yep, October 30th. So, hopefully, everybody had a good weekend. Saw my video Saturday. We did see some bucks, but they were young ones and some does. No shots fired, nothing got. I want to talk about finding your path in business and what direction to go. And Alright, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. Have a seat. Do this weekdays, Monday through Friday. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments. I do answer them. So today, it's official. I'm 61. It's my birthday. Thank you. And since my 30s, I've always said it's a good day when you can put your feet on the ground and have another day, right? Because the way I kind of look at things is, people get so caught up in life that they forget about the little things that gives you enjoyment throughout the day and stuff. And this is for my take, but it's for people that are religious or are not religious. This is just my take on it. Is that you do have a heaven and hell, and this is hell here. And you're going to be here until you've learned what you need to learn before you can move on. And some people learn it quicker than others. And others are slow learners like myself. So I should be here until I'm 120, 130. If the old body will just hold out. But people are so worried about the end that they aren't living now. And you need to find the things that you enjoy doing and do them. It's kind of like the monarch butterfly. Everybody's watched them. The caterpillar, and they put themselves like in a tomb, and voila, later on, they emerge as a butterfly. So, that's my take on it. That kind of brings us into the topic that I want to talk about today, and that is business is business, okay? And I told both of my kids when they were growing up, what you need to do is you need to find something that you enjoy doing and make it your job. That's how to get the most pleasure out of work, because then you don't feel like you're working. You enjoy doing what you're doing. So I'll tell you guys the same advice. If you got a job that you hate and you're plunging through it day by day by day, and you're there just because of the money or no other opportunities have showed themselves yet, you need to sit down with pad, pencil, and paper. I'm old school. Sit down with your laptop or your iPad. Make a list. What are the things that bring you joy? And then on that list, start looking at occupations or work that you can do, or a business you can start around what you enjoy doing. Because with the kids, I always told them, I said, don't chase the money. And if you're good at what you do and you enjoy what you do, and you enjoy being around other people while you're doing it, you will succeed. And some people want to define success dollar and cents wise. One of the most successful people I ever met didn't make a lot of money, but I'll tell you, on nights and weekends, he had his fishing boat out, he was catching fish, he was enjoying life. And I said, don't you want to make more money? Because I was going after overtime. I was going after, get more money. Nope. I'm perfectly happy doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy fishing in the outdoors, and I really don't want to, I don't need the extra money. I don't buy stuff I don't need. And he was correct. He was right 100%. But there's no reason to go through life hating what you do. Because after a short time, when you first get the job, it's okay, right? And then as it goes on, it either gets mundane, which is boring, or it becomes where it's highly stressed and it's bringing out the worst in you. Because people that are overstressed, we as humans can only take stress for so long, and then we have to de-stress. I feel sorry for folks that, aren't religious, because I find it hard that, when I say my prayers at night, I give everything up to Him so I can get a restful sleep. And that's how I function, is I've got a good night's sleep. Whatever problems I have when I went to bed that night are still here in the morning, but I'm going to have a different look at it, feeling fully refreshed. And 9 times out of 10, the things that are stressing me, and they work themselves out and they end up being nothing. So your body can't take a lot of stress, so you're going to have to find ways to de-stress. And some people use exercise, meditation, whatever works for you. But wouldn't it be better if you found a job that wasn't as stressful? Maybe a little less money? There's different personalities. There's, the A and the B's. The A's have got to keep going, where the B's are happy and content where they're at. So that brings us to the biggest point of, why don't people just find something that they enjoy doing or follow their dreams of what they wanted to do? It's because fear comes in and holds us back. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown. To define an average individual, this is what humans do. And that is, we don't like change. Even though the change is a positive, change brings on stress and fears of the unknown. What I can tell you in my life, that most times when I made a change, even though it was stressful and I had fears of doing so, I turned out better in the end than where I was. And once I get to this point and I find out, hey, I'm okay and everything worked out, you just kind of scratch your head. Why did I spend so much time being fearful and stressed on making this change, even though this change is good for me? And that can be simply of asking a girl out or asking a boy out this day and age, getting married, starting your first job, starting your own business. Whatever your dreams are, you have to follow your dreams. Now, I knew that running a small engine repair shop was not high on my list as far as my dreams went, but I wanted to be successful at business. And that was my goal in my early life. And I was, to a certain extent, because I had taken, and by the time I was 20, I had bought my first dairy farm. And even though milk prices dropped and I had to sell off the cattle and machinery, I had enough equity in the cattle and machinery when I sold off that it paid the farm off. So I owed no debt. So that would be deemed now, as I look back, that was very successful because you ended up with a positive outcome in the end. Now, if you build a business and you end up filing bankruptcy and everything's gone and there's nothing left, there's no reason to stop either. You should, when you're doing business, you have to take and you have to remember history. And this is why I say in school we need history. Really, really bad. Because why do we teach history to our young people? Why do we keep history tight to ourselves as we get older? It's because we know that if we remember history and the good and the bad, that we aren't going to repeat the bad again. If you don't have, if you're not teaching history, good chances are you are going to repeat what you've already tried before and didn't work. Right? That's how you succeed, is you keep trying things and then go with what works. But those times that it didn't work, you remember it, history, so that you look at it and find out why it didn't work and then change it to where it will work. That's solution-based. I still can't figure out for the life of me why these kids are protesting Israel and pro-Hamas, which is a terrorist group. And all I can figure is we're not teaching history to our kids. So why even send the kids to school if they aren't coming out with the basics anymore? They need to learn the horrific things that have taken place in our past. They do 100%. And that is so that they have an understanding when they see stuff like today, why each party is doing what. And then with the UN and the Arabics coming out and wanting a ceasefire and stuff, now that Netanyahu has gone in, is crap. I wouldn't pay attention to him either, because I would defund the United Nations at this point, like Trump said. Get rid of them. They're worthless. They're going with the highest bidder. Whoever pays them the most money, they follow that person's suit. Right? But we have to remember history. And we have to figure out how to deal with failure and fear to get ahead. So I'm not telling you to quit your day job. I'm telling you, you need to, if you find yourself in a lot of stress and you got to the point of where you hate your job, then you need to either go back to the drawing board and figure out what it was that you wanted to be and your dreams of what it would take to further you on that mission. See, I've seen guys, I got a friend, his name is Ross, and he was a MIT top of his class graduate. And he was destined, to be like a big nuclear scientist or something. I mean, he was so smart. And what ended up happening to him was he couldn't deal with everything with the... He needed to de-stress. Because people like that tend to be stressful. Because they're constantly, coming up with this, coming up with that. So what was his answer? And his answer was, 43 years ago, he moved up here. And this is no lie. He bought a small farm and he milked cows. I think there were 12 or 13 of them. He had chickens, he had goats, and the old chicken coop is where he lived. I'm not telling a lie. This is the truth. He lived in the old chicken coop, and you walked into the chicken coop, and he made a table with a stove, and then in the back he had like a bunk bed style sleeping area that's where he slept. And it was all in this small space. And he ran around barefoot everywhere he went on the farm. But he loved what he was doing. Now, he started getting into stuff on his own terms. And he started selling grain. And he would get it delivered bulk. And then he would bag it. And then he would put it on his truck. And he would deliver it to the Amish. Because he ended up living right in the middle of a lot of Amish people. And so he started doing that, and he found that a lot of the Amish in that area were builders, and what were their needs? And at the time, during that time, most of the Amish that were up here would order their stuff from PA and have it shipped up by train or what have you. And they were buying it from somebody else that was Amish, or Mennonite, or, part of that group. But he became great friends with the Amish, and he lived like an Amish. He had power, but he only had power to his little house and down to the barn. And on that farm, the Amish had, just before he bought it, put up a brand new house. And to this day, he's never lived in that new house. He stayed in the chicken coop. And he hired Amish people to start helping him grow his business. And his business ended up being in roofing and buying the screws and that stuff to help out the other Amish. And he put up his first big building, and that's where he stored all of his steel. He ordered it, had it brought in by truck, and then the Amish would show up, or he would deliver the steel to the building site that the Amish were building at. And then he gradually got into lumber, and he just got out. And he still isn't retired. He's 73 now. But he kept every year. He didn't have a lot of wants in life. So every bit of money that he got from any of his little businesses went back into the business. And he just kept letting it grow. And he kept hiring on more Amish. And where he ended up was he went out and he bought, instead of waiting for the steel to come in, he bought a unit that you put flat steel on that comes in great big rolls, different colors, and it would make the roofing right there. And he saved a lot of us a lot of money, because instead of, if you needed 8'4", you end up having to buy the 10-foot or the 12-foot, whatever was available. And when he went to the roller mill, where he was actually making the roofing right there on that property, you could put your order in for, an 8'4", and that's what you paid for, was 8'4", because he had the ability to control every step, and now he was making it custom cut. But he had just sold out this past year to a younger couple, and he's still there. And, he got good money. But I know that with Ross, the money is nothing, because wherever he goes, he will be a simple man, because that's what helps him, or what has helped him deal with life. He went for something that he wanted to do and that he enjoyed doing, and not sitting as a nuclear scientist figuring out ways. So what I'm getting at is that you're the one that has to define success or failure. And you're the one that's going to have to find out, are you following your dreams, or are you in a mundane or a hateful environment, high stress environment, and you need to de-stress like Ross did. And like I said, I said numerous times, 6 to 7 billion people on this planet, and there's only one of you. So, because you're unique. So you need to find out what it is that is important in life for you. And you need to find something that brings you enjoyment. And if you're not following your dreams, why are you not following your dreams? Fear. Fear of the unknown. Because I can tell you, if you're an outgoing person because you're doing what you enjoy doing and you're going to shine and people are going to want to gravitate towards you and be like you and try to figure out what makes you so happy. And it's a simple solution. It's just defining of what it is that what your dreams were and are, and trying to figure out how to achieve them. And it may take, working at these dreams nights and weekends while you're doing the process. But I don't want you to give up on your dreams. And I don't want you in a job that you hate for the next 30, 40 years. Or something that, doesn't bring you pleasure. Because the people that are most successful in business love what they're doing. And people see that and they gravitate towards that person, and they're very outgoing and they're not afraid of life. They're living life. And that's what I want you to do today, is start living your life instead of being stressed or hating a job or, going after the almighty dollar, because you're chasing the wrong thing. So I'll start winding this up, that it's all about doing what you enjoy doing and finding that right balance and finding what it is that defines you and would make you happy. And then just simply going after it, or sitting down and figuring out, how do I go after it? Like Ross had his life basically handed to him, of MIT graduate, top of the class. Everybody was after him. They all wanted him, for programming to nuclear and he defined what was best for him, and that was living in a chicken coop. He had more pleasure in doing that than this. And that's what I want you to do, is just define what it is that you would really like to do. And it may be painting, it may be starting a business, it may be, only you know. So on that note, you guys have a great Monday, and we'll be back here tomorrow bright and early. If you have any questions, comments, put them in the comments. And if you like the content that you're seeing here, if you could like, subscribe, and share with your friends, so that more people can get on the channel and maybe be helped in finding their dreams and where they want to go. All right. So you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning.